it's Carol. I'm back again. I want to show you another Wild Hedgerows project today, and I'm going to be using this page with these cards on. Show you a bit of a close-up. Now, don't ask me what these mean because I haven't got a clue. I don't know anything about flowers, plants and out. So yeah, if you want to look them up, you can do. But they are all related to plants, apparently. And these are the two items that I'm going to show you how I made. So this is they is them, okay? But I want to show you a couple of other things first. Two things that I want to show you today, first of all, are two new digital kits which I've put in my Etsy shop this morning. These are really useful pages, so they are really useful. And this one is delicate backgrounds and this one is bold florals. There is a reason why I'm sharing these with you, which I'll show you in a bit. So the really useful delicate backgrounds are really delicate images taken from old vintage books. So I'm hoping that you can see all these. And these are some of my favourites that I use for printing on the back of digital kits to take away, you know, that blank white from the page. They can also be used on the back of tags, journaling cards. You can use them for making paper bags or envelopes even. So they are really useful for those usages, and of course any others that you come up with. So these are sort of really quite delicate patterns. That one's probably the boldest out of all of them in this particular pack, and there's an array of colours that I think are sort of quite suitable for any sort of digital kit that you've got. So there's creamy backgrounds, green backgrounds. I love this one, love this background. Rusty colours. So there's a real wide variety, and this is one that I am going to use in today's video. So I want to just keep that out to one side for now because I'm going to use that in a bit. And there we go, and that's the last one. So it's a total of 11 pages within the kit. The second one is really useful bold florals. So these are a much more dense pattern, but again can be used for printing on the back of other digital kits, but they're ideal for using as a tag front so that you've got an image to start with. Make envelopes with them, bags with them, pockets with them. So there's a variety of different things that you can utilise these for. So there's a green one and there's a cream version. Sorry, the papers have curled up a bit where I left them overnight. And this one's got quite a lovely vintage linen feel to it. Now this one you may recognise if you've been a regular viewer of mine. This is the background that I used on the pink tag that a lot of you commented on, so I've included that one in this particular kit. Love this background as well. Again, another sort of fabricy, linen-y sort of effect. Love the brightness of that blue. This one sort of is a bit William Morrissey. It's not, but it's similar to. And then something that's a little bit more shabby chic. And then something that's a bit more vintage. So this would look really lovely printed on a coloured paper. And then this one, which has got hints of greens and lilacs in there. So that's the really bold floral backgrounds, and you'll see me using these from time to time throughout my videos, but today I'm going to show you how I utilised this one. So it's the green background from the delicate, really useful selection. Okay, so we're going to be using that. So let's quickly go through what I'm going to be using. And the first one that I'm going to make is this one in the little pouch. And so for that, I cut up these 4 cards here. So here's one I've got ready. Then I've got some really large index cards, which I've coffee dyed, so I'm going to use those. I've cut my paper in half, so I've taken off the white edging, and I've cut it in half, so I'm going to use that. And then the other thing that I've then got is I've got my sticky images, you know, the stickers of the flowers, and then I've got some, I've sorted them out, and I'm using Tim Holtz Field Notes ephemera pack. Okay, so there's some bits and pieces in there for me to use, and then I've got my little sidekick off to the side, and I'm going to use these 2 little dies here, and I got these off AliExpress, and I'm going to cut them out some craft card. So lots going on, need to crack on. So first things first, let's make the paper bag. So this is the paper that I'm using. I'm folding it into the center, just curling it round for now, and then curling this round and overlapping the 2 pieces. I'm just going to fold that and make sure it meets up along this top edge, front and back. Open it back out, fold the bottom up by about 1/2 inch ish. I'm a very ish kind of girl. Okay. Oh, that didn't fold properly, did it? I know I said ish, but okay, pull that back out. I want to keep this centre rectangle here, so I'm going to cut it at a slight angle up to the point where all those folds meet, and then cut off that bottom rectangle there. Same with that one. Get my glue. Fold that edge in. Then I'm going to put glue along that edge there. And then come across to this side and put the glue on that edge there. Trim a little off there. Because then I can put glue across this bottom folded flap. And fold that over. And then with my walnut stain, I'm just going to ink up around the edges. I also want to ink up around the edge of the card. And then I want my pocket off to the right hand side. You might decide you want it off to the left. And then that is going to sit on there at a very slight jaunty angle. Now I'm going to glue this to the bag. I could choose to just glue around 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, and have an extra pocket. So I didn't on this one, but I am going to do that on this one. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 and have a top pocket. and then that will just sit on there at a very slightly jaunty angle. And then I'm going to decorate it up. I've chosen the flower that I want to use, so I'm going to use this one. And I've already started to peel it off the backing because we know what a pain in the butt those can be. And I didn't want you sitting there for hours watching me trying to peel this off and laughing at my expense. So that is going to go on there. I'm just gonna very brummy slang, going to burnish this down. Okay, I've already pre-cut my little die cut. That's dropped on the floor. I'll get that later. So I've already pre-cut those out of some craft cardstock. So those are they. Just going to place them on my mat and ink them up a little. So I want them a little bit darker. And then this one, just going to put a tiny bit of glue on the back. I'm just going to dot it. And then that can sit on the top up there. And this is now open as a pocket as well, so I can put some things in there. So that's why I'm not gluing the whole thing down, so that I can actually put behind there. And then I've had a quick look through my labels and bits and pieces, and I quite liked, I want you for later. So I want you, and I want that red ticket, and that was the other piece that I saw. Okay, so I'm going to add these, all the reds and the pinks together. So that's going to sit... Oh, motorbike's going down the road. Just going to ink the edge of that up to get rid of that white edge on the edge of the card. That on there. And then add that one on the top there. So I've also got my Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Field Notes stamp, and I'm going to use A5337, and I'm using my Ranger Archival Ink Sepia. And I'm just going to put that up there. That's that bit done. Now I've got this large index card. Now on this one, when you pull it out, I did the butterfly on the edge here. It was really long, okay? But instead of cutting this little bit off, I folded it over, because otherwise it's just another thing to add to the bits box, right? So that now slots in. The butterfly acts as the little pulley tab, and then the folded bit is on the back, because I'm going to attach this in my page so that this will flip. So then I've got this bit as a little bit of decorative on the back there. This one I'm going to do slightly different because I've now got this pocket here. So if I measure the size, and I want it slightly smaller so it'll slide in and out of the pocket real easy, and I'm going to use the lines that are already on the index card as my guide, but you can use your paper trimmer if you want. scrap for later. And then work out the length again by sitting it on top of the pocket. I've not lined it right up to the edge here because I want to make sure that it's going to fit inside nicely. And I'm going to do it about there. So I'm going to fold this where I've just done that little cut. And I'm going to cut along that folded edge. So I've now got 2 pieces, okay? And on this edge, I'm just going to attach the butterfly just at the base of the wings. So I don't want glue all over it. And then that will sit there. And then this bit I'll decorate later off screen. Might add some more stamping on it from that particular stamp kit, and then that can be used to sit inside of that pocket there. So we'll just slot this in, although the glue hasn't gone off yet, but you'll get the gist. And then that will slot nicely into there. Sorry, I'm trying to be delicate because I know that that butterfly is not attached properly yet. So the butterfly is hanging out. And there I've got 2 little pockets that I can now add to my journal. So I'm going to go on now to show you the next project that I made using these cards. Again, it's another really quick idea. So here I've made a quick, let's say, field notes and little notebook. Okay, so it's using one of the cards and then just utilising some scrap paper that I went through my scrap paper bags and just collated them together. Okay, real quick and easy. Now I printed mine onto paper, my cards, and obviously it's not very strong, so I'm going to use the other half of this and I'm going to glue it onto the back side of that and then cut it out. In the meantime, as I say, I've collated together a whole load of papers and just, you know, put them together. So I'll come back in a second once I've glued this and cut it out. Okay, off we go. So I've got my flower ready. I'm going to peel off the backing. And I've already part peeled it, so again, you can't laugh at me struggling to separate those 2 pieces. I'm going to stick it on the front here. Now, you might be able to see from this one, I actually let it overhang the edge. And then I just cut off the excess of the sticker. It was too high up, so don't think that you've always got to use the whole thing. Throwing it about now. Just going to burnish that down. And the great thing about this card is it's blank, so that you can write your own notes on there. And then I think it needs a little, this one's got a little number label on it. That one's got a little specimen. So I'll just ink the edge of that up. And then we can put that in place. Because this is a bit of a juicy glue bottle at the minute, I'm just going to put some dots on. So hopefully it won't squidge everywhere. And again, even just putting it on that jaunty angle just brings it a bit more to life. Okay, so this top end up here, I want to use that tag, use that tag, and I want another little card underneath it. are you? Ticket. Ooh, what's that one? Ooh, might use that one on top. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there, just in that top corner, to sit like that. And then this needs a little bit more care, with some little tiny dots. Ooh, don't want you. And then just spread that about a little. And then that can then sit up there, as though it's holding those in place. That's the back of the card. I like to ink that up, haven't I? I don't have to, but I just think it gives it that slightly more vintage age about it. I could stitch it as well, so you know, I could take this to the sewing machine and stitch all the way around it. Not gonna, but if you wanted to, then you can do. And this is the stage where you would actually need to do that. Maybe even before you put the sticker on. No, do it after you put the sticker on, then stitch it, and then put that little specimen card on top. That's the order in which I would do it. Now I've got my selection of papers. I'm going to tap them so that they all meet in this top left hand corner, so that I can sit that on top. Staple, and then that will sit on top of the staple there. So let's get some glue on that. Let me just check where I want the glue. Okay, so yeah, all the way across that top edge there and there. I can add more glue if I want to stick them down further later on. And then we'll just sit that there. And as you can see, this page is a bit long, so I'm just going to use my ruler to, I don't want it that long. Oh, and that one. Might be better off that way. There we go. Done and dusted. Really quick and simple to do. So even with cutting out all the boring bits with the gluing and the inking, you can see it's not actually taken that long to produce these 4 pieces. Well, you saw me making 2, but you get the gist, don't you? It doesn't take long to make these at all. Just gather your bits together, decide what's going where, and then off you go. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Okay, that's for me done for another day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me. And oh, and for those that have bought the Wild Hedgerows kit, digital kit, thank you. Hope you have fun playing with it. See you soon. Bye.